Hi, and welcome to today's marketing session. We are going to talk all about content curation. So I would love to know, let me know, drop it down below if you know what content curation is. Just say yes or no. I'm going to share with you why this is like one of the simplest ways to really add value to the content that you're providing to your audience. And when I am talking about content, I'm not just talking about social media posts. I'm also talking about in your emails, when you go live, whether it's here or on Instagram, in your LinkedIn posts, if you blog, all of these different varieties of creating content and all of these platforms are places where we provide value to our ideal audience. And that value can be in a lot of different forms. It can be typed out in captions, in an article, in a blog post, in a video, and so forth. But one thing that is really underused is curating content. So again, as you come on and hop on, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, let me know, yes or no. Do you currently curate content? Yes or no? And then do you know what that means? And if you don't, it's totally okay because not many people do. So that's why I'm here, to show you exactly what that is. If you are brand new to the page, I want to welcome you. My name is Ginna. I'm also the owner and founder and creator of Stylishly Branding with Ginna, which is part of our social media marketing agency, Hype Media. And I am absolutely passionate in helping and guiding female entrepreneurs, small business owners in developing and refining your personal brand, your style and visibility so that you can connect as a human being with your ideal clients and scale your business. That's what this is all about. That is the purpose of using social media as a personal brand for your business. First, let's talk about content creation to begin with. Like, what does this mean, right? So what is the what about content creation? First of all, when you're creating content on your social media platforms, profiles, on your website, on doing live streaming, all of these different things that we do, these are pieces of content, right? And the purpose of content as a business owner, as a personal brand, is to create content, which are like the little breadcrumbs that lead our ideal client, our ideal audience, our perfect audience to wanting more from us, which means hopefully to get them to hire us, to buy from us, to throw their credit card at us. That's the whole purpose of posting as a business, as a personal brand on social media platforms, unless you just want the popularity. But that's, I don't know about you, but I have a family, I have a fun life, and I want to continue to experience it. So I don't want to spend my entire day 24/7 on social media, right? So content is leading our ideal clients through this experience, through this customer journey. And one of the simplest ways to provide content that we don't have to actually create on our own is by curating content. So simply what that means is that you are finding content from other sources strategically, okay? And you want to share those pieces of content to your audience through your channels. That's all it is. So you're probably wondering, well, what kind of content would I absolutely share from another source to my audience? So that's where the strategy comes into play. And you really want to think about where else are your ideal clients hanging out? They can't just possibly be only hanging out with you. As much as awesome as that would be, that's just not realistic, right? So you want to think of where are other places that they are getting information from? And it could be maybe tools that they would use within your industry. So industry Facebook pages, industry Instagram profiles, blogs, YouTube videos, those types of things. So you want to find content that can help your ideal audience just learn more about what you do, about what you can do for them. But also, you want your profiles to be a resource for your ideal client, so that when they say, oh, I have a question about this, they think about you and they're like, oh, maybe Ginna posted something about this, maybe she has a Facebook Live about this, maybe there's an article shared on her page about this. So that's the whole point of curating content. And it also allows you to be seen more as an expert. And you're probably thinking, well, how can somebody else's content help me look more like an expert? Because it enhances your brand customer relationship with them. Okay. It gives them the opportunity to know that, listen, you are also in the space of providing resources to your audience. And so it's not humanly possible to know everything about everything in your space, right? It's just not. I absolutely do not know everything about social media marketing, especially because it changes like by the second, right? So now there are things that I am focused on that I might know more of than others, but then vice versa. So for me, I love to provide additional content that relates to Pinterest or blogging or, even lead generation, email writing, copywriting, all that sort of stuff. It all has to do with marketing, but they're not all my specialty, right? So my specialty is social media marketing strategies and lead generation and paid traffic. But even within those topics, I can't absolutely know every single thing. So that's one reason why you would want to curate content. The other reason is because when you're sharing content from other sources, especially if they are consumer created content, consumer user generated content is really what we call it. It allows your ideal audience to get a feel that, hey, you're open to highlighting other people too, not just yourself. And so that also builds a stronger brand customer relationship. By doing all of this, you build more value and trust with your audience. And if you've heard me talk about building a personal brand and the importance of doing so that you can increase that like, know, and trust factor, this is part of it. You're also able to add a variety of different types of content. So not everybody consumes content the same way. Some people really like to read articles and blog posts. And if you're not a blogger, it might be a good idea to share somebody else's articles and blogs. Some people like to watch videos versus reading captions. So if you're not doing any videos, which by the way, I highly suggest that you do for yourself, for your brand, but if you're not, then it would be smart to share somebody else's live video on, something that would make sense to your ideal audience. It also will help you build relationships with other experts. So when you can curate content from an influential expert in your industry and you tag them and they see that, they most likely are going to thank you for that. And now you can start connecting. Okay. So let's talk about how to do this. And you're going to find out that it's a lot simpler than you think. Okay. So one way to do this is I'm going to give you some different tools, some different resources on where exactly to do this. So I love to first of all, I use Facebook a lot for this. So I will go right into the search bar and I will just search by keywords and I'll look for other content, other public posts from other pages that are providing something that I feel would be interesting to my ideal audience, to my audience. Okay. And I simply share it. That's it. You can also find other pieces of content and you can schedule it as a regular post through Creator Studio onto your page as well, or in your group, if you're, posting ahead, if you're scheduling things ahead of time. So Facebook is a great resource. If you have your own experts that you follow on Facebook, I bookmark those Facebook pages, and I do love to go in and interact on those pages as my page, and then I will share their content, and if I feel it's going to be something valuable that my audience would really like to consume. So Facebook is a great resource. Instagram is another one. Sharing content from other profiles to your profile, and of course, giving credit to those sources. That is really important. So you never want to download somebody's content or image, something like that, and then repost it as your own. That's like a big no-no. Okay, that's just cheating, and it's rude. And guess what? It's not going to help you. So it honestly really helps you when you give them credit, because when you're tagging them, their audience, you have an opportunity for their audience to see you. So you can really expand your reach and expand your audience doing it that way. All right, so there are some other really fun tools that allow you to find other content. So I really like to use FeedSpot. Are you familiar with FeedSpot? FeedSpot is one of my favorite sources for curating content. Another one is, I am actually now just starting to, so I haven't really gotten into their content curation part of this, but HelloWoofy.com is a new third-party scheduler app that does a lot more than scheduling. And they have some really great resources to curate content from there. You can also go to places like BuzzSumo, is a really good one. Feedly is another one. So that one, what I love about Feedly is that you can set up Feedly to actually, or is it Feedly? Maybe it's actually it's not Feedly. And I'll tell you this other one too. I think it's, and then I'm trying to find, oh my gosh, there is one that I'll have to find it. And if you guys want to know it, just drop a note down below and just to remind me, say, Ginna, drop that other resource. There is another one that you can connect to Buffer, and then it automatically curates content for you into your Buffer account. And of course, you want to have your Buffer account linked to your whatever platforms, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn. I think now Buffer even does Instagram. And it will automatically post for you. You've set times. Now, you want to be really careful with that, because I do know that, for example, this platform doesn't really like third-party apps like that. So what you can use it for, though, is you can have it all go into Buffer, and it's at least there. And from there, you can copy and paste it and grab the link and the Facebook profile that it's coming from, all that sort of stuff, and then manually move it into your Facebook page and schedule it out. But there is a really great resource that you can go by categories that that are interest-based categories for your specific industry, and it will automatically curate content for you. Another one is called Post Planner. Yeah, so Post Planner is another really good place to, let me make sure that that's what it's called. Yes, Post Planner, it's actually love.postplanner.com is another really great resource to curate content from, and they have a free subscription as well that you can use. What else? I don't want to skip any of. Okay, so yeah, so those I think would be those are all the resources that I use. Also, Pinterest is another good one. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as all of the places that I look for, and Twitter, right? So now once you find all these places to curate your content from, what do you do next? Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to decide how often you want to share this curated content. So we typically do it about 2 to 3 times a week, and it allows to fill in some spaces for additional content. So, if you feel like you're constantly creating new content, this is a great way to relieve you from that, because you don't need to post, honestly, especially if you're running a paid traffic strategy like we use, a low budget one. You don't have to be posting every single day. But if you are just working on organic, you do need to stay consistent. And by the way, it's not just sharing the content. You want to add to it. You want to ask questions. It needs to be engaging, right? Because that's how you're going to increase your engagement and then increase your opportunity to show up in the algorithm. So what we do is we use curated content, kind of like filler content. So we don't always have to be recreating or creating new content when you're using resources from other places. So decide how frequently you want to share content from other places. And then you want to, once you start to share that content, you want to start really analyzing what's working and what's not. So you want to look into your metrics. Going into your analytics is super important if you truly want to use social media for business. There's no sense in continuing to post and not really knowing what's going on the back end, right? So you want to definitely analyze that content and see what seems to be resonating with people, what seems to not be resonating with people. And then you just continue to find relevant content that seems to be working based off of those analytics. And that's it. So it's time to start curating content. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you want more in-depth trainings on topics like this, make sure to get into my free community. So I do marketing sessions every Monday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Inside of there, just say the word group and I will send you the invite via Messenger to get in there. And I am doing right now, I still have some spots on my calendar for social media marketing audits. Okay, so this is a 30-minute complimentary virtual meeting with me on Zoom, and I, with you, will go through your current content, what you're currently doing, what strategies you're doing, and I will do a review of those for you and give you some really, really practical and actionable steps and tips to help you elevate and optimize. So if you want to take me up on that free offer, just say the word splash down below and we will coordinate a time through Messenger. All right. I will see you guys next week. Have an amazing rest of the week and weekend. And remember, stay social. Bye, guys.